as Faizi mentioned, I have a PhD in medicinal chemistry, and I would like to start my presentation. So I just have to push enter, right? Like this, yes. So as you all could see in the program, my presentation is about a unique natural product that uh, was isolated from many plants, and it's deep in it all. And but first, since carob has the highest amount of deep in it all of the plants, I would like to start at least one slide with carob, and I call it the human's faithful friend, and I call it a superfood. By the way, the below citations here, the second citation, which I published, those of you who attended the 2001 conference that was also online, I also spoke about carob, and this time as well. Anyway, carob is humans' faithful friend in Western Asia and Southern Europe and Northern Africa. It's a superfood. It contains a lot of carbohydrates, phenolics, inositols. That's our major theme. Proteins, fiber. If you fibers, if you consider the fruits, the kibbles, and if you take the seeds, which are inside the pods, they contain a lot of proteins, unique proteins, by the way, and the LBG, that's the locustin gum, which is composed mainly of polysaccharides, mainly of galactose. And here you can see a branch of fruiting carob. And I will start up, and from the bark, you can prepare some nice extracts, but to not very great extent from the leaves. There are many modern researches about what you can do with the leaves. And I think our colleagues in Tunisia are leading this. But the major product of carob tree are the pods, the fruits, which are first of all, they are food. They are superfood, and you can eat them exactly the way they are, the way they are shown. They are very tasty. They are sweet. They are really tasty and nutritious. But from them, you can make a lot of extracts, and traditional medicine used these extracts. For example, the very concentrated extract, which is called or named the molasses of carob fruits, is used as a medicine. Is used to treat mouth and throat inflammations. It's very efficient. Obviously, carob extracts and carob fruits are used as food, and modern pharmaceutics discovered the ability, the potential of carob. Now, if you isolate from the active from the extract, if you isolate the active natural products, and so you can use them, we can use them as food additives and for pharmaceutics. And this citation is for a great researcher from Tunisia. And this lady, I think she is Mexican or from Spain. Anyhow, our discussion today, our meeting today is dedicated to this, to the derivative of this inositol. Inositols are unique sugars. They have sweet taste, but if you look carefully at the structure of them, you can see that they lack two typical functional groups that are found, for example, in glucose. On one hand, they lack the aldehyde group. If you look at glucose, galactose, mannose, or whatever, from the classical sugar group, the classical carbohydrate group. So if you look at the chain, at the T-shirt structure, you can see the aldehyde functional group, which does not exist here because these compounds are derivatives of cyclohexane. So there is no chain structure. There is no there is no mutarotation. There is no exchange between the D and L going through the chain. There is no chain. It's not opening. These strings do not open. So first of all, Professor Bigon, yeah, thank you. So from this point of view, inositols do lack, they don't have the aldehyde group. On other hand, they are cycles, but they do not, the cycle is not a heterocycle. It does not contain oxygen atom. It's a cyclohexane cycle. So here is the structure of the different inositols with the prefixes that distinguish each one of them. And our friend will be this one, even though the most abundant inositol is this one. Okay. So what are the biological activities of inositols? There are many. There are so many. And for example, speaking about insulin regulation, there wasn't one or two or few publications. There were many publications. Anti-diabetic, same thing, antioxidant, and so on. So if you take this list and count the number of scientific publications behind it, you will find hundreds. And look at this article. This is a wonderful article that summarizes the biological and pharmaceutical activities of inositols. Obviously, I did not include stereo structure because I'm speaking about inositols in general. But our plant, we specialize, our company, my research now focuses on Carob. And here are the inositols in Carob. There are six inositols. And as I told you, the most abundant in nature and in Carob is this one. Okay, but there are others. And look please at 2, 3, 4. These are, pay attention please to the methoxy group, to the ether group here and here. Okay, while this one also includes the methoxy group, this one and this one do not include it, and they have slightly different activities, but our major interest is this compound that is named the penetol. This is the IUPAC systematic naming, and so this is our major interest, and all these methoxy compounds are isomers of this compound. Okay, D-penetol exists not only in Carob. It can be found in Carob, in bougainvillea, and in soybeans. Actually, most of the commercial D-penetol that is marketed by the chemicals companies is isolated from soybeans. And in the last 2-3 years, there is an increasing attention to the D-penetol of Carob. But it is found also in the bougainvillea, and it is found also in soybeans. But please pay attention to the concentration in each one of these plants. And as I said before, depenetol exists also. It can be found in many plants, in dozens of plants. And there is a review about that, and there is fine research about that. I guess it's the first that was done by Kim and colleagues. And so depenetol is found in many plants, but in Carob, please pay attention. It's the highest concentration. Actually, it's more than double of the concentration of bougainvillea. And that's one of the major advantages of Carob. It has much higher ratio of depenetol than all other plants. Now, if you want to present or to search for the medicinal biological activities of depenetol, but by the way, there are many others. For example, preparing nanoparticles, especially silver nanoparticles, which are also used for medicinal purposes. Anyhow, each one of these activities that are listed here was mentioned at least in one publication, while many of them, most of them were published several times. And when it comes to the activities that are listed in other colors, not in black, this means that there were many scientific publications about this activity. For example, if you take anti-Alzheimer activities, so there were a couple of, probably a dozen of publications: anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and hepatoprotective, immunoprotective. But the major quality, the major property of insulin is that it was found to be clear anti-diabetic, and most important, it was found as insulin regulator, which is, diabetes is taking from humanity, from people on Earth, about more than $300 billion a year. It's costing people more than 300 billion a year. The number of people who are sick with diabetes is just growing. And it is many decades ago, it became a global issue, a global problem. And combating diabetes and regulating insulin is a major task of all medicinal plants researchers and so on, to find a way to help people that are suffering from this killer. Actually, diabetes can kills a lot of people globally. So the major quality of depenetol is insulin regulator, and that's our major interest in Carob Way, in this compound, in this great compound. And I can tell you, okay, I'll tell you that in one of the coming slides. So medicine people, doctors, and all people who work with pure medicine and clinical trials will probably understand this slide much more than me. This is a proposed or a possible mechanism of action of depenetol, how it works. This is one of them, by the way, because there are some other proposed mechanisms. Anyway, this is one of them. I won't go through the details because I don't really understand a lot of the details here. As you will see in one of the last slides, I will introduce to you our team. So in our team, there are doctors, physicians, and people of clinical trials who are in charge, responsible for such beautiful things. I'm a chemist, and that's basically my job. Anyhow, so this is one proposed mechanism of action. This is not the only one. There are others, but I just, after consulting with the people in our medical division, they said, you should present this one. So I did. Anyway, the next slide is presenting the synergism of dipinetol with curcumin, for example. And as you can see, in this case, they took arsenic ions toxicity, which cause the generating of ROS, reactive oxygen species, which are oxidizing, which make a lot of damage to our body. And when you take curcumin alone or dipinetol alone here, this is the control. This is the toxicity of arsenic alone. This is when treated with curcumin only, and then when treated with dipinetol only, and then when treated with both compounds together. You know, there is a huge interest now in these days in the world in curcumin, especially because of COVID-19. It's a strong combating against this compound is really strong combating against this illness. Anyhow, and this is the citation. It's a wonderful citation. You should at least give a brief look at it. So you can see that there is a synergism between these two wonderful compounds, and we are preparing to test a lot of synergies like this, not only between dipinetol and curcumin, but between dipinetol and a wide range of natural products, and between Carob and other foods. Anyhow, this is one clear case. Now, synergism of dipinetol with other NPs in Carob also. So dipinetol has clear synergetic effect with polyphenols. Pay attention, please, that the three compounds here are polyphenols. Carob pods, carob fruits are rich with dipinetol and polyphenols. And we are counting on future products, future healthy products that will utilize the synergism, this kind of synergy between the polyphenols that exist in carob and the dipinetol, obviously. And there are many studies that show clearly the advantage of using dipinetol not as a pure compound. A lot of our colleagues from Far East, from Korea and China and Japan, did some studies, some amazing studies about using, by the way, also our colleagues in Mexico and in Portugal and in Spain did similar studies, and they clearly showed that all these scientific groups clearly showed that when you take dipinetol in its quote unquote natural habitat, when within an extract from carob or any other product from carob that combines or includes these compounds together, so the effect is much higher than dipinetol as a pure compound. Even though I have to mention that most of the studies, most of the hundreds of studies that were done with dipinetol used it as pure compound. The quantification and isolation of dipinetol, there were so many methods that were developed especially for this compound. And this is a citation from one of these works, very successful work, by the way. So they isolated inositols from carob, and you can see here at the chromatogram of this isolation. In our company, by the way, we bought a special device that was designed for us in Korea, and we got it about 2 weeks ago. Now we are running it. We started running it, and the major target of this machine, which costed us a lot of money, and the major target of this machine will be to isolate natural products from Carob, and mainly we are going to work with deep. But as I mentioned here, there are more than 40 publications about the isolation and or quantification of deep, not only in Carob, by the way, but in many plants. In our company, that's why I titled this slide with our deep. We aim to first to lead the world in Carob planted area, and we are serious about that. When our planting project will come to an end or close to an end, the area of Carob trees, Carob crops, in Israel will be the biggest in the world. Obviously, we will lead the list of the countries, not all the other world combined. We will not have Carob planted area more than the entire world, but we will lead the list of the countries. So that's our first and top goal. Then to develop nutritionally special cultivars, we have already succeeded in this. And our trees are really of a special and unique quality in terms of nutritional natural products. We did a lot of analysis. Most of them were done abroad in Korea. In Germany, we have really good collaboration with German companies that do the analysis for us. We are aiming to develop, and we started doing this actually, to use eco-friendly agriculture. We try not to use the traditional methods that some of them can be eco-unfriendly. So we are trying to use, and we succeeded in some of our trials, to use eco-friendly agriculture to produce healthier foods. That's the major goal of our company. We are a food company, okay? And to promote healthy lifestyle. And this means that not only producing healthier foods and food additives, but try to explain to people why it's important to live healthy lifestyle, whether they use our products or they don't. And our future horizons are listed here. We want to develop healthy foods, healthy food additives, and obviously insulin resistance to alleviate that. And we are going to do a lot of thorough studies of the Carob natural products, their stabilities and accessibilities. One of these studies is already running with one of the leading universities of Israel, the Technion. This is a highly esteemed university in Israel. Natural cosmeceuticals and established. This project is also started. We started collaborating with major cosmetics company, leading in the world, by the way, not in Israel. Established the world largest information center about Carob. This is really something that we are really all the staff of our company is so happy that we are going to in this direction. In the coming, after 5 years from now, each researcher, each interested person who wants to know anything about Carob can reach us, and our center will be the most comprehensive information center about Carob. This is our team. The two gentlemen on the left, up left, are our founders. Jeff is our lawyer. Miriam is one of the leading botanists, not only in Israel, but I think in the world. David has a lot of experience in industry. Shai is our farmer, is our agriculture um, expert. Arnon is our physician and clinical trials uh, uh, chief, and finally myself, I'm the chemist in this group. And thank you so much. And if you want to ask me any questions, I will be more than happy.